Hare Krishna. So, Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 2, contents of the Gita summarized, verse number 48. Na? So, we have seen Karmandeva Adhikaraste, Ma Phaleshu Gadasana, Ma Karma Phala Heturubhur, Ma Te Sango Asti Akarmani. So, any attachment, positive or negative, actually is cause of bondage. You have seen. And inaction is sinful. So, there is only one option. We have to fight for our cause, I mean, as a duty. So, Arjuna has left with one cause, one option only to fight as per Krishna's instruction. And actually, that is the real yoga. Yogastha kuru karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya siddha siddhyo samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. So that is the definition of yoga. Perform your duty equipoise. And for that, what we have to do? Abandon all attachment to success or failure. And this equanimity is called yoga. So before that also we have seen that when we get rid of these dualities, actually we have achieved Paramatma. In the previous verses we have seen. So what is real yoga? To perform duty equipoise without attachment to success or failure. That is the definition of real yoga. Because if our senses are attracted to success or failure, then we won't be able to focus them on Krishna. So real yoga is to connect with Krishna. For that, we have to give up all the sense of proprietorship, because we think that whatever I do, I deserve the result. So that's why we get attacked. So now Krishna says, Durena hi avaram karma buddhi yoga dhananjaya buddho sharanam anvicha kripana phala hetava. But not all of them, all people will come to this particular stage. Most of the people will be in the category, they will want to enjoy the fruitive results. So Krishna is saying that is abominable activity. So keep all the abominable activities far distant by doing devotional service. And in that consciousness, surrender unto me. So actually, surrender will be 100% when we actually give up all the abominable things. Means we will be pure enough. So actually, our services starts when we become pure. But anyway, Krishna is so merciful that he accepts our services even when we are not fully pure. You know, the we can give enjoyment to the master when he will accept the service fully. Then he will enjoy it. Right now, he is doing as a, like giving us encouragement. Just go on. Okay. You can come one step forward. Like that. So who is miser? So all the people who wants to enjoy the fruits of their work are misers. So Prabhupada writes that only misers desire to enjoy fruit of their own work, which is actually the cause of their further material bondage. They don't know that. So Nunam Pramattam Kurute Vikarma. In Bhagavatam it is the verse in 5th canto that people keep on doing fruitive activities and enjoy the results, but they don't know that that becomes the cause of their further coming births. In that again they perform fruitive activities and get entangled like that. So here a very nice statement Prabhupada writes, except for work in Krishna consciousness, all activities are abominable. Why? Because they continually bind the worker into the cycle of birth and death. That is abominable. Because if you achieve very nice result, but again you are coming back to the bondage only, then that is abominable. So how, what to do? Buddhi yukto jahatiha ubhe sukrita duskrute tasmad yogaya yujyasva yoga karmasu kaushalam. So it is very nicely written. A man engaged in devotional service actually reads himself both good and bad actions even in this life. Because why? This is said? Because Arjuna actually he does not wish to fight. His mind is not to in fight because he thinks that if he fights, he will incur sin, bad reaction. But Krishna says, no, if you perform devotional service, what to speak of bad, I mean, in the sense, all bad and good and bad reactions will be removed. It's for your beneficial. You will be removed of all bondage. So, devotional service is so beneficial to all living entities that it actually frees one from all kinds of sins. And that's why you strive for Bhakti Yoga, which is the art of all work. We will come further, I mean, in subsequent verses. Yukta Vairagya, that is the art of work. Art of how to perform an action, work, still don't get bound. That is an art. So that is Yukta Vairagya. So Krishna is actually inspiring him to perform devotional service so that he has nothing to be nothing to fear about any bad reactions. कर्मजम बुद्धि युक्ता ही फलम त्यक्त्वा मनीषिणः जन्मबंधम विनिर्मुक्ता padam gachanti anamaya. So the abominable thing is to attain another birth. So Prabhupada writes, again one goes to the womb of any living entity, 84 lakh species. That is an abominable thing for him. Again born in ignorance. So what should be the goal? Padam gachanti anamayam. Go to that place where there is no misery. That should be our goal. Padam gachanti. How that can be possible? Only by engaging in devotional service to Lord. So all intelligent people know that. Great sages and devotees, they know that. By performing devotional service, they free themselves from results of all kinds of work in material world. And in this way, they free themselves from cycle of birth and death and attain state beyond all miseries, that is Vaikuntha. So Prabhupada writes this verse from Bhagavatam, Samashritaye patapallava plavam, Mahat padam punya yasho milare. So material world is actually an ocean which we have to cross to achieve Lord Krishna's lotus feet, who is known as Mukunda, who gives liberation. So what happens is when we perform devotional service, this unlimited material ocean, in a sense, desire of living entities, this becomes so small as the footprint of a calf. Then you can easily cross that particular ocean. That is how we can go from the place of misery at every step to the place where there is no misery. Vaikuntha means no misery. And this material world is actually padam padam yad vipadam na tesh. So padam padam vipadam, this is material world. At every step we see n numbers of dangers. So we have to give up this ignorance, and then Prabhupada writes that one who actually understands his position, his constitutional position as a servant of Krishna. And what is position of Krishna? He is a master of all living entities. When that understanding is fixed, who am I and who is Krishna, then he can perform this devotional service. Then he doesn't get any and doesn't get attracted by any fruitive results, in the sense anything material. So Prabhupada writes that this material world is miserable means with all 14 planetary systems, any material body you get, that is, you will get misery. Different kinds of misery, but misery will be there. And if, because people try to adjust, okay, I'll do something and then I'll solve this issue. But it's not possible in the material world. You cannot do any adjustment by doing any fruitive activity, doing any, but misery will be there. That's why dukhalayam ashashvat. Of course, it ends, but actually dukkha will be there. So secret of success is to know our eternal position as a servant of Krishna. And to know position of Krishna is master, supreme master of all living entities. To come to that understanding, then we can perform devotional service. In that stage, yadate moha kalilam buddhir vyatitarishyasi tada gantasi nirvedam shrotavyasya shrutasya. Now we have already given an understanding about how Vedas are very inclusive. Before coming into Vedas, we can see, understand that all living entities are at only one stage, that is 100% sense gratification. You don't follow any rules and regulations. That's like animalistic life. But once when we understand, oh no, there is superior power who is providing me, so I should actually follow the rules and regulations. I should do some tapasya, should obey the rules and regulations. That is, and then I can want to enjoy. That is sakam karma stage. And then come nishkam karma yoga. So of course, one suppose follow any other authority that is not yoga, but it is like following Vedas. Vedas provide with all kinds of, all sattva, raja, and tama, whichever guna is there. There are people who, Puranas and Itihasa, everybody is encouraged to follow authority. And then Vedas give you an understanding about the Parama Satya, absolute truth, which is like so vast, it is considered like a dense forest. So we have to find a path and to come to understand Vasudevam Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudara. So one, after crossing this, comes to understand, oh, actually Vasudevam Sarvamiti. Then for him, this entire forest of delusion, dense forest of delusion, doesn't become a problem. He actually crosses that. So for a beginner, neophyte, Vedas are very important. You know, get up early, bathe with cold water, offer prayers to the demigods everywhere, forefathers, so that he will understand to come to Krishna consciousness. Once he actually comes to Krishna consciousness, then he doesn't need to follow all these rituals because he actually understood the destination, what he has to do. He has to serve now Krishna. So Prabhupada writes, if one has not understood the purpose of Vedas is to reach Krishna and simply engages in the rituals, then he is uselessly wasting time in such engagement. So if some Vedavada Rata Partha, Nanya Dastiti Vadina, then he will be continuously in the dense forest only, roaming here and there, wasting time. But once person in Krishna consciousness transcends the limits of Shabda, that is the range of Vedas and Upanishads. Because he has already traversed the paths which Vedas have given and reached to the destiny. It's very important. One who doesn't know the destination, he has to follow the path. He needs to follow rules and regulations very strictly, and then he becomes pure, and then the end, he reaches to the destination, Krishna consciousness, Vasudeva Saramiti, then he need not follow all the rules and regulations. The example is given, Madhavendra Puri, he says, Sandhya Vandanam Bhadram Astu Bhavato Bho Snanam Tubhyam Namo. So all these are the people, the rules and regulations to come to the Sattva Guna. Vedas have said. You prayers 3 times a day, so and so forth, giving obeisance to demigods, forefathers, and now these are all the rituals one has to follow. So, but unless one is Sarvatmanaya Sharanam Sharanam, we are not completely surrendered to Krishna, then we may have to follow because it's like we take everyday bath, right? To keep ourselves, our gross body clean. Similarly, now we are doing bhakti, so we are chanting Hare Krishna, but no, we are not surrendered completely. So, practical basis to like practical Krishna consciousness means we are what do you call Janma Sarthak Kari Sadhak also and Kari Para Upkar preacher also. So simultaneously we have to purify ourselves by following strictly the Krishna consciousness in Navavida Bhakti and get purified. At the same time, we have to create a very nice example for the outsiders so that they can follow us. So to inspire them to follow all the Vedic rituals, we should do it. Keeping Krishna in the center, that all this is for Krishna only. So that's why that sloka comes that Devarshi Bhutapta Niranam Pitranam. No, Devarshi Bhutapta Niranam Pitranam Na Kinkaro Nayam Runicha Rajam. Sarvatmanaya Sharanam Sharanyam Gato Mukundam Parihritya Kartum. So we are debted to all these people. Deva, Rishi, Bhuta, Apta, Nrinam, Pitrinam. So we have to pay that debt individually to them. But one who is Sarvatmanaya Sharanam, who 100% surrendered to Krishna, he pays to them automatically by doing Krishna's devotional service. So this is what is the stage where Yadati Moho Galil. He himself knows Vasathem Saramiti. He doesn't need to follow that. Are you getting it? Because he knows that the purpose of Vedas is to follow rules and regulations and get some benefits. Most of the people will get hooked with benefits. They don't understand why we are doing it. The rituals. So that's the main the disadvantage of fruitive activities. Because we found performer to the fruitive results. Once we cross it, then everything what is given in Vedas, Upanishads, you don't get, you transcend that basically. Shruti Vyapratipannate Yada Stasyati Nishala Samadha Vatala Buddhis Tada Yogam Avapsat. When your mind is no longer disturbed by the flowery language of the Vedas. Why flowery? Because when you go, very good fragrance of flower comes, you get attracted from the destination. Wherever you are going, oh, let me smell this fragrance. So flowery language of Vedas is like, oh, do this, you will get benefit like that. But when your mind is not disturbed, then that is samadhi, when it remains fixed in trance of self-realization. I am servant of Krishna and I should focus myself on Krishna, I mean my all activities. That is samadhi. Then you will have attained the divine consciousness. That is samadhi. So realization of one's relationship with Krishna, that is samadhi. Samadhi's definition is our relationship with Krishna should be fixed. And when relation is there, then there is automatically service. It's not inactive stage. So then he is no longer disturbed by the flowery words of Vedas. And once when he actually connected to Krishna through the way, through the devotional service and spiritual master, then one is sure to achieve the results and attain conclusive knowledge. Actually, we have to follow spiritual master and then scriptures, then automatically we'll come to the right position, that is samadhi, that is devotional service. I give you example of the 9 process of devotional services like a CD drive. I mean, the tape record, I mean, the recorder, CD recorder, what do you call that? I mean, in 1990s, there was a, you know, if you get bored, at one time you can put 9 CDs and just by remote you can change Shastric music, then rock or something like that. That kind of, so you just, your connection with the system is there, you change the sequence. So Shravanam, from Shravanam we start, all the 9 process of devotion service can be fixed in your 24 hours. That's the life of devotee. That is samadhi. That is living in Krishna consciousness. That means living in spiritual world. So even though we are in the spiritual, not in spiritual body, but material body, still we can live it like that. That's the picture. So Krishna says, all material world is also Krishna's property. That means it's spiritual. But we are material, that's why we see it's matter. I mean, we don't, that is art of work, using everything in Krishna's service. That becomes spiritualized. So that's like Prabhupada said, money is there. It can bind person to millions of lifetime attachment to money. But if you know this money belongs to Krishna, that is spiritual money. That is Yukta Vairagya, it will come. So, in Krishna consciousness, one comes directly in communion with Krishna, and thus all directions from Krishna may be understood in that transcendental state. Then one is sure to achieve results by such activities and attain conclusive knowledge. One has to carry out the orders of Krishna and his representatives, the spiritual master. So now, last section starts. So this is Buddhi Yoga we are seeing from 2.39. Krishna is saying, what are the characteristics and benefits of Buddhi Yoga? First is said, first 2.39, what Krishna says, now I will give you some knowledge which will take you Eshate Abhita Sankhe Buddhi Yogam Tvimam Sudo Buddhya Yukto Yaya Partha Karma Bandham Prahasyasi. So Buddhi Yoga, what it does? Karma Bandham Prahasyasi. It frees you from the bondage of work. That is the one characteristic. Right now, what are the characteristics of Buddhi Yoga? One is 2.39. It frees you from the bondage of work. 2.40. Neha Vikramanashusti. Pratyavayana Vidyate. You never, there is no loss or diminution on this path. Whatever you achieve is permanent. Second characteristic. That is benefit. And at the same time, Trayate Mahato Bhaya. It saves you from the greatest danger. What is that greatest danger? What is that greatest danger? To be more precise, gliding down to the lower species, isn't it? This is the danger always. So it saves you from that. Then 2.41, actually it is a resolute determination. Buddhi Yoga gives you resolute determination because you are directly connecting to Krishna. And 2.50, just now we have seen Yoga Karmasu Kaushalam and Buddhi Upajat Ubhe Sukruta Dushkrute. That is, it gives you freedom from both good and bad reactions. That is freedom from cycle of birth and death. 51. It is given Janma Bandhar Vinirmukta, which is our main problem. We are caught up in the cycle of birth and death. So it frees you from cycle of birth and death. 52. When you are in this process, you are indifferent to Vedic rituals. Because to follow Vedic rituals means giving up so much of your time to this process. You are left with nothing to give it to Krishna. But when you are with this, you are indifferent. And that is the 2.53 Samadhi, realization of relationship with Krishna as eternal servitor. That is the benefit of it. And then later we'll see 2.72, he goes back to Godhead. Now in between, there are the characteristics of a person who is at the stage of samadhi. How does he sit? How does he speak? How does he walk? What are his general symptoms? That is the detailed description. But at the end, he goes back to Godhead. So Arjun says, Sthita pragyasya kabhasha samadhistasya keshava sthitadhi kim prabhasheta kimasita vrajeta kim. So what are the symptoms of the one whose consciousness is thus merged in transcendence, that is in samadhi? How does he speak? What is his language? How does he sit and how does he walk? So just like we have symptom for every different category, just like rich man, diseased man, or a learned man. They have a different symptoms. Diseased man will have disease symptoms. Learned man has learned symptoms like that. Similarly, there are symptoms for person who is in the trance, in samadhi with Krishna. The immediate symptom of Krishna consciousness man is that he speaks only of Krishna and of matters relating to him. Prabhupada writes, even before Krishna gives answer, the specific immediate symptom that he only speaks about Krishna or matter related to Krishna. So, Prabhupada writes in Science of Self-Realization, that I think, that even pessimistic view of material life is also Krishna consciousness, providing pessimistic view about material life, discussing that. So also encouraging everybody to Krishna, spiritual life. So that is also talks about matters relating to Krishna. So Bhagavan Shri Krishna says, Prajahati yada kaman sarvan parthamanogatan atmannevatmana tushta sthita prajnastadochyate. So these are the general symptoms of 55. What are they? When a man gives up all varieties of desire of sense gratification. We have already said, yoga means give up attachment, which arise from mental concoction. So Vedas basically gives the sattva, raja, tamaguna, which are the personality, to give an agenda. Okay, you want this. Bhagavatam third canto gives various kinds of yagya, various kinds of worship for different kind of goals. Suppose you want good husband, good wife, good health, good wealth. So different kinds of people are there. You have to worship, you get that result. So these are the ideas of the soul to enjoy in this 14 planetary system according to his mind. He thinks, oh, if I have a good body, beautiful body, I can enjoy. So mental construction. So Vedas say, okay, do this. If I have wealth, you go where. But when a man gives up all that is possible only when his mind is purified. And how it is purified? When he finds satisfaction in the self alone. We have said we have to first understand our position. That is, we are Krishna's servant. So soul is Krishna's servant. It has nothing to do with matter. If he is focused on this, then his mind will not focus on anything matter, a material important matters. Then he is said to be in the pure transcendental consciousness. Actually, this is the beginning. This is not the end. This is the beginning. The sense, do not come to Krishna only yet. So Prabhupada writes, the highly developed soul always remains satisfied in himself. by realizing himself as an eternal servitor of the Supreme Lord. So, detachment from the matter. Such transcendentally situated person has no sense desires resulting from petty materialism. That is all for him. It is like a different kind of misery. Like if I eat samosa, it is so hot, chili. Okay, not samosa. This is suppose other biryani. If I speak, what is the taste? It's also hot. I mean, the end result is misery. Understand? So I'm just giving the all mental concoctions will give him dissatisfaction. So for one who is in samadhi, for them these material fruitive results are petty. So these are the general symptoms that he gives up desire for sense gratification, which comes from mental concoction, because his mind is purified, because he is satisfied in self alone. And what is self alone is? He is not independent of Krishna. He is servant of Krishna. That is pure transcendental. How does he speak now? 56, 57. Dukheshu anudignamana, sukeshu vigataspраha, vitaraga bhaya krodha, stitadhir muniruchyate. One who is not disturbed in mind even amidst the threefold miseries, or elated when there is happiness. So the both things happen when person is miser in enjoying the fruity result. If he performs some acts and doesn't get success, he gets disturbed. And if he gets fulfilled, he gets success, then he jumps. But our Sitadhir Muni doesn't, in both cases, he doesn't get this. He is free from attachment, fear, and anger. Attachment means to work that, oh, by doing this work, I will get something. Fear of not getting happiness. And anger is if he get defeated in getting happiness, then he becomes angry, general person. So that is called a stage of steady mind. So there is a word Stita Dhir Muni. Prabhupada now gives an example of like a person who comes to the understand that okay, I have to evolve. So he starts tapasya, mental concept, philosophy. Raise yourself from above matter. So the Muni is a word when one can agitate a mind in various ways for mental speculation without coming to factual conclusion. That is the Muni. So the actual definition of Muni is unless Muni differs from other Muni's conclusion, he is not actually a Muni in strict sense. So Munis mean all Munis are sitting, they will never come to the one conclusion. That's why they said, okay, if some Muni says, I agree with you, that is, he's not a Muni. So they can utilize their intelligence in such a various ways to come to different conclusion. That is Muni. Now, Sthita Dhir Muni is one who has given up all kinds of this business of doing mental speculation on any subject. He is into state of Prashanta Nishesha Manorathantara. One who has surpassed the stage of mental speculations and has come to the conclusion that Vasudevam Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudurlava. That Vasudev Krishna is ultimately everything. That is Titadhir Muni. For example, one Rup Narayan, somebody, a very Digvijay Pandit came to Vrindavan and he said, I want to challenge all the philosophers here. So who is there? The Rupa Goswami. So he went to Rupa Goswami and says, you debate with me. So why you want to debate with me? Because I am a Digvijay Pandit. So if you don't want to debate with me, write down that your signature, write the signature, you are defeated. He said, take my signature, I don't have time for debate. So that is Titadhir Muni, who has given up all kinds of mental speculation. So he accepts all miseries as the mercy of Lord. So the here it is, the example is given that mind will be affected by these things, distress and happiness. So when distress comes, what we'll do? We'll actually blame Krishna. I mean, or somebody else. Most probably Krishna only. दुनिया क्या है को दुनिया बनाई और ये तो बट तत्तेनुकंपाम सुसमीक्षमाणो भुंजान एवात्म कृतम विपाकम. I have created vipakam. I have cooked this particular khichdi for me in this lifetime, way back in my past life. So bhunjanam, I have to only eat. If you have cooked something, you have to eat. So he says, but actually I have cooked so wrongly. So I should have got more trouble due to my past misdeeds. But Krishna is so merciful that he actually, by the grace, he has reduced that misery. So he is grateful to Krishna. So he accepts himself as a responsibility to this situation. He says, because of my actions, I am into this. And if he gets happiness, then he says, I am not worthy of this happiness. It is due to only Lord's grace that I am in the comfortable situation. So normal person will, मैंने किया रात दिन मैंने मेहनत किया, that's why I got success. So he accepts the credit if happiness comes. And distress comes, he says, इससे मानो तुम्हारे से बजे हुआ था, मेरे को ये मिलता तो मैं कर सकता था. You know, गीता जी को क्या बोलता, तुमको टीवी नहीं दिया या मेरे पास मोबाइल लैपटॉप नहीं था, सबके पास लैपटॉप था, इसलिए they got good mark. Reasons to blame anybody. But Krishna conscious devotee, he understands, I am the cause of my misery into this, coming into this material world. And Krishna is Suradam Sarva Bhutana. He is the best well-wisher of all living entities. So I accept it. So that's how he, in both conditions, he doesn't get disturbed. And then, but is he inactive in this stage? No. For the and for the service of the Lord, he is always daring and active and is not influenced by attachment or aversion. He's always ready. So that's why this is the order to Arjuna. You fight without attachment and aversion, just for my sake. So attachment means accepting things for one's own sense gratification. Aversion means detachment from the absence of sensual attachment. So Krishna conscious devotee, he is not at all angry when his attempts are unsuccessful. He doesn't become angry. Success or no success, Krishna conscious person is always steady in his determination. So that is the case of our Sitadhir Muni Uchate. Sitadhir Muni. Next he says, Yah Saratran Avisnehas Tattat Prapya Shubhashubham Navinandati Nadveshti Tasya Pradnya Pratishtita. So, in the material world, one who is unaffected by whatever good or evil he may obtain, neither praising it nor despising it, he is firmly fixed in perfect knowledge. So one doesn't give up material desires artificially, but by complete engagement in devotional service as an eternal servitor. Because artificially one may give up, but he may again get attached. So yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchane sarve gunes tatra samasti sura. One who is attached, one who is surrendered to Krishna, automatically he gets all the godly qualities. But mano rathenasti dhavato bahira. One who is not in that stage is into mental speculation. He has no good quality. Harav abhaktasya kuto bahanguna. So he finds satisfaction with self alone. This is we have seen in 55. So actually, because he is a servitor of Krishna, he knows my happiness is based on Krishna's service. service-based happiness. That's why he gives up petty materialism, which generally people think this actually gives me happiness. So one example is given: satisfied hunger. So Krishna consciousness means one who has actually satisfied himself fully with the Krishna Prasad. His hunger is subsided. He doesn't need anything more, like that. And now here the 57 is saying how Krishna consciousness, when he becomes equipoised, because he accepts everything as Krishna's mercy, and he free from attachment, fear, and anger, because he is always daring and active and fixed on service of Lord. He doesn't come under attachment and aversion. He never gets angry whether successful or not. He is very steady in determination. Now, unaffected by good and evil, because material world is anyway full of relativities and dualities. There is always some upheaval, even in devotional life. We don't see that by accepting Krishna consciousness, our life will be like walking on the roses. It will never happen. You know, only thing is our perception about this world will change. Whatever we have sowed will come, will have, but the way we'll accept things will change. So Prabhupada writes, one who is fixed in Krishna consciousness is not affected by good and evil, because he is simply concerned with Krishna, who is all good absolute. So he has faith that Krishna is perfect and all good. So if by connecting with him will be always beneficial at the end. Such a person in Krishna consciousness is in samadhi. So Sthitadharmuni is only concerned with Krishna. That's it. Nothing else. So like when Kalia actually grabbed Krishna in his coils, entire brother came to that place. Old people, small, ladies, men, even animals came, because they are only concerned of living, or of living is Krishna only. They say, what happened? So bad omens were seen for 2 muhurtas. So all of them ran to there, that place. They are not concerned with, Are, mera ghar band hai kya, mera property, nothing else. Or my kid, or my husband or wife, and so on. Everybody ran. So that is samadhi. So how does he sit, this person? Yada samharate chayam kurmo angani sarvasha indriyani indriyarthebhyas tasya prajna pratisthita. One who is able to withdraw his senses from sense object, as the tortoise draws its limbs within the shell, is firmly fixed in perfect consciousness. Now, the most, dangerous or biggest problem of the sadhaka is controlling senses. So there are 2 examples Prabhupada writes. One is our tortoise. Tortoise is an animal which he uses his senses, his limbs, only when it is needed. And when not needed, he actually can contract it, draws it within the shell. Similarly, the Krishna consciousness person actually uses his senses only when they are required for the service of the Lord, and withdraws the senses when they are not required. Practically, actually, he uses his senses throughout 24 hours for the service only. So, now the point is, how does one should control? Prabhupada writes, like a snake charmer. So, snake charmer, he never loses he never keeps his animal, snake, unattended. He always is very alert. He never allows them to act independently. Snakes. Similarly, our Sritadri Muni, he also always he's alert. He never allows his senses to act independently, because senses are compared with a serpent. and they are very strong. Sir, I mean, senses are very strong, they cannot get attracted. But devotee should be more stronger than the senses. The snake charmer knows actually how to control the snake. Normal person will not do that. The snake charmer knows, however big or poisonous snakes, cobra may be there, the snake charmer knows how to actually control it. Similarly, unless one is able to follow the do's and don'ts, restricting oneself from sense enjoyment is not possible at all. So the only possibility is fixing our senses in Krishna consciousness, like that. Use it for service, otherwise withdraw. So this is actually the taste of devotee. Taste means T-E-S-T. What happened? All the time we will have this taste. Because Maya knows exactly what kind of taste should be given to each candidate. Which sense is very weak. So there only she will give you as a exam test, and we will keep failing like that. So that is a test. So restraining is difficult because taste of sense object still remain. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehina rasavarjam raso apyasya param drushtana. Now the soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment. Don't do, I mean, get engaged. Though the taste of sense object remains. But seizing such engagement by experiencing a higher taste, he is fixed in consciousness. So, here the example comes about Ashtanga Yogi or impersonalists. Actually, Prabhupada writes that they follow strictly the rules and regulations, of not, Ashtanga Yoga means Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayam, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi. Strictly, there is no association of devotees, spiritual master, or scriptural discourses. He is completely dependent on his determination. So it is a fight between senses and sense objects. So his position is like a patient who is restricted from so many things, but still he has taste of those things only, those who are that restricted. Or Emat Khana, he likes that only, vada pakoda. He says, if you eat, you die. But he says, I like that taste. So that is why this is very dangerous situation for impersonalists or Ashtanga yogis. That's why it is said, Aruhya Krishrena Patantyada Anadrita Yushman. That's why even though they do so many hardships, like Vishwamitra Muni, he's a person who could do such a tapasya, and Nabhutano Bhavishya, but first he failed for Menaka, right? Lust, then anger, Rambha. But when he actually came to Krishna, devotional service, when he actually served Lord Rama by giving him discourses about, history, giving him the historical evidence. Okay, this place is in past, this has happened. So Lord Rama became happy. That's a direct service. That is Krishna consciousness. Then he became self-realized. In the sense, happy, peace, samadhi. Like that. Otherwise, only restriction of a deceased man is very not enough to make him happy, make him healthy rather. So Prabhupada writes that Ashtanga Yoga is recommended for a less intelligent person who have no better knowledge. But one who has tasted the beauty of the Supreme Lord, Krishna, in the course of his advancement in Krishna consciousness, no longer he has a taste for a dead material things. So what has happened? When you come to Krishna consciousness, so our same Vishwamitra Muni's example, when he saw Lord Rama and Lakshmana sleeping in forest, that darshan was only possible for Kaushalya because she used to wake them up. But when he saw that beauty of Lord Rama, who is Krishna himself, he was so overwhelmed by love. And then he says, okay, कौशल्या सुप्रजाराम पूर्व संध्या प्रवर्तते उत्तिष्ठ नर शार्दुल्य कर्तव्यम दैवम अहनिकम. So that was his love. Now he became a perfect devotee. So he could see that the particular rare darshan, and then he changed. So here the only remedy is one should taste the beauty of Krishna. That is the higher taste. What is the higher taste? We taste Krishna's love by our service. That is advanced platform. So restrictions are good only in the neophyte stage. Like now we are doing, but ultimately we have to upgrade. We have to advance. We have to advance. So higher taste is, how can we come to conclude that now we have got a higher taste, and now we are not deceased? Proper, we have to get attracted to Lord's beauty. Otherwise, there are only two options: either Lord's beauty or Maya's beauty. Either of you have, because soul is Anandamaya. So Anand, he needs all the time happiness. So either he will be attracted to material beauty or spiritual beauty. There is no in between. Of course, neophyte stage is struggling here and there, but that should end. So here further we see that how one who is not Krishna consciousness, he may easily fall down. That is, now Arjuna wants to, what he says, yeah, I want to go, I want to become a Brahmana or sannyasi and go to forest. It's not possible. Senses are very strong. So to practice Gyan and meditation actually is not very easy. Yatato hi api kaunteya purushasya vipassita indriyani pramathini haranti prasubham mana. The senses are so strong and impetuous, O Arjuna, that they forcibly carry away the mind even of a man of discrimination who is endeavoring to control them. Just we have given example of Vishwamitra Muni, isn't it? One who is just not casual Muni, he is restraining, he is powerfully controlling himself. Still, Indriyani Pramathini, so powerful in. So one who is not doing anything, he will be dragged like that. He is actually running towards the sense object. So the sense object will automatically pull him. One who is going away, they can pull him. The senses are so strong. Actually, yeah. So that's why it is not recommended for Arjuna to take to this sannyas ashram and avoid fighting, because it's not his stage position, the psychophysical nature. So Prabhupada writes that even the greatest of the philosopher, learned sages or transcendentalists sometimes fall victim to material sense enjoyment due to the agitated mind. He also gives example of Vishwamitra, Menka, Yogi. So it is very, very, very common. Scriptures are filled with these examples to give us an understanding that we have to be very serious. And at the same time, if we see the one who is in Samadhi, Yamunacharya, he says, Yad avadhi mama cheta krishna padaravinde navanavara dhamni udyatam varantum asit. Tad avadhi bata nari sangave स्मर्यमाने भवति मुख विकार सुष्टु निष्ठितुम वनम च. So, just like we have seen, one who is uh, advanced in tasting the beauty of Krishna, for him all the fruitive activities are like a petty material thing. That is what the situation. So Krishna consciousness is such a transcendently nice thing that automatically material enjoyment becomes distaste. If it is as if a hungry man had satisfied his hunger by sufficient quantity of nutritious eatable. Example is Maharaj Ambarish. He is a devotee who has conquered a great yogi, Durvas Muni, simply because his mind was engaged in Krishna. So mind is actually the main leader of all the senses. So if mind is controlled, all the senses are in control. So Ambarish Maharaj was such a person who has, and in next verse we have Srimad Bhagavatam 9.4, 18, 20, where how he has controlled his mind, fixed his mind on Krishna, and because of that, all of his senses are automatically engaged in service of Krishna. That is being explained. So Tani Sarvani Sanyama. So Krishna is saying that Indriyani Pramathini hai and Prasanti Haranti Prasabham Mana. So Tani Sarvani Sanyama Yukta Asitamatpara Vashehi Yasya Indriyani Tasya Pradna Pratisthi. That's why one who restrains his senses, keeping them under full control, and fixes his mind upon me, Matpara is very important. Not anybody else. Fixed in me is known as a man of steady intelligence. So only because the yogi, Ashtanga yogi, our Durvas Muni was also a tapasvi who has controlled his mind to sufficient extent. But because he could not taste the beauty of Krishna, so there is a vacuum. Anandamaya Abhyasat. That vacuum was filled with ego. If our heart is not full of love, then what is it there inside? Ego. Why you are eating without my order? What was his problem? How can you disrespect a guest like me? That is ahankar. So, Prabhupada gives this short story, and then he says, because the king was able to control his senses because of the following qualification. Savay mana Krishna Pirdaravindra. So how mind and then Vachamsa, so all of our senses should be engaged in Krishna consciousness. Then automatically kamam tu dasya natu kamme kame. Even the desires are also for fulfilling Krishna's desire, not to fulfill our own desire. So in this way, one can actually control our senses. So Baldev Vidyabhushan writes, the senses can be completely controlled only by the strength of devotional service to Krishna. Repeat, the senses can be completely controlled only by the strength of devotional service to Krishna. Example is given. Just like a blazing fire burns everything within the room, similarly, Lord Vishnu, situated in the heart of yogi, burns up all kinds of impurities. So, Ambarish Maharaj and Durvas Muni example is there. One is a Krishna devotee, other is a Ashtanga yogi. But he could easily conquer yogi because he was fixed in Krishna consciousness, devoted to Krishna completely. This is the aim of real yoga. What is the real yoga? So, Nate Vidu Swartha Gatim hi Vishnu. So, people do not know their Swartha is Vishnu. One who knows that my main destination is Swartha is Vishnu. That is real yoga, Krishna consciousness, devotion. So Ashtanga Yoga is like a patient who is restrained from food particles. I mean, a certain kind of food, but he has not been provided any nutrition. हमको ये भी चढ़ा था ना कुछ glucose or multivitamins, you know, then you can actually get cured of that disease. So it's a dry renunciation. So just like to cure a patient, you have to do two things. The activities which will aggravate that disease has to be stopped. Material activities, fruitive activities. At the same time, we should give him nourishing supplements so that he can get strong enough. He can get rid of that disease and be able to act independently, strongly, right? Again, one thing will not do. The restriction on food and supplements of, then he becomes normal. So dry renunciation will never help uh, independent. But all those who actually then ended up in Krishna consciousness by intervention of devotees, and already they have done sufficient renunciation. So they are fast enough. But those who are do not have any renunciation, and there is devotee intervention, then it may take a long time. So we don't say that renunciation is bad in the sense. Krishna's intervention is very important, whatever we do. Akama sarva kama moksha kama udaradhu. Whether you have all kinds of desires, no desires, or desiring liberation, only do Krishna Bhakti. That is the main important. That is the aim of real yoga. Connection with Krishna. That's the main thing. Hmm.
That the person is not getting proper food, the person is not getting any nutrient supply.
He actually is restraining himself from the food, like fruity activities. He needs happiness, but the fruity activities he has given up. He knows that it will increase his disease. But at the same time, he is not getting nourishment from Krishna consciousness. So Ashtanga Yogi has, later Bhagavatam will see, they have two dharanas. One dharana is Virat Rup. It is very long process, Krama Mukti. But second Ashtanga Yogi can focus on Vishnu, Paramatma. So there is a possibility that this Ashtanga Yogi can go to Vaikuntha. If he develops the desire to serve this Paramatma, then he can go back. But mostly these Ashtanga Yogis can actually go to any higher planets, mostly. And so that's why it is not recommended. And the main thing is in Kali Yuga, nobody can do that. I mean, it's not recommended.
And with Virat, they cannot reciprocate, I mean, they cannot serve.
Yes. The only thing that remains is what are their inherent desires now? Palanmukha kya hai? Obviously, they will have a good desire, to sort of sattvic. So that's why they go to Brahma, Brahma Loka, Satya Loka, like that. Higher planetary systems. Those who, and then, so it's like soul has all power. Within a second, it can penetrate through all the walls of Brahmanda and go back to God. That's the power of only who is restraining him, he himself. He thinks, I don't, because there is no attraction. Supreme soul is there in spiritual world, and the spark is there. So all power is there to attract him. But we have created Maya Javanika Channam, Ajnana Agya Doksham Avyam. So Ajnana has covered us. Maya, Javani ka Achannam. The Javani ka means a curtain. So the curtain is like a rust. So there is no attraction. Once that curtain is removed, we get taste about the beauty of the Lord, soul can go. Or soul can experience Krishna's presence within in this material world also. That's the main thing. So that requires nourishment through Navavidha Bhakti, Shravanam Kirtan. That will increase our remembrance about Lord. Because now is a Vismaran. Mostly we remember about what I did in college and school and I was like this. This is our remembrance. About matter, about this activity. When we remember more about Krishna, then that achanna will come. I mean, the curtain of Maya will come up to go away, removed like that. So that is nourishment. So uh, so in devotional sense control, as compared to dry speculation, dry renunciation, devotee doesn't become frustrated by inactivity because he engages all his senses in regulated devotional activity. Right? This 18 to 20. Savay Mana Krishna Padaravinda or 9% devotional service. So he has tendency to get nourishment from everything. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Supranam, Vandanam, Archanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, everything, everywhere he is like beginning. Hands off. So he is not frustrated at all. So that's why Krishna conscious activities bring true peace, and lasting happiness. Like Ambarish Maharaj. Even in the midst of Durvas Muni was trying to curse him. Actually, demon was created who was about to kill him. Still standing like this. Not disturbed, not fearful, or not feeling like when he knows everything is, you know, Bhaktenu compound. I offer you obeisances, my dear Krishna. I know you, I mean, whatever happen, will happen. Like this. So that is true peace and lasting happiness. He is within his remembering Krishna. But most of probably what happens, people fall to sense gratification. So process of fall down is given 60 to 63. ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसां संगस्तेषु उपजायते संगात् संजायते कामात् क्रोधो अभिजायते. So first stage is contemplating the objects of the senses. The first step. If this step is not controlled, then automatically the next stage leads. That is what person develops attachment for them. So dhyayato is a very strong. So that's why Krishna later says, I mean, we'll come back to that. So that's why Gurukul is there, or the Guru is there to give rules and regulations. So, then that further the disease, like the mosquitoes are there. पहला तुम क्या लगाओ? Mosquito repellent. You don't say, let me do that. मैं खाते रहता हूँ. काटने दो. I will eat multivitamins. I mean, I'll keep myself strong, but no. So, ध्याय तो विषय. Then attachment, once we get attachment, from attachment, lust develops. And lust, anger arises. In the sense, attachment will bring forth, let me enjoy. And that will give up to the desire. And when the lust is not fulfilled, that gives you anger. So Prabhupada writes that a sincere devotee of Lord shuns all material sense enjoyment due to his higher taste for spiritual enjoyment in the association of the Lord. That is the secret of success. क्या है? Secret of success is, Prabhupada writes, a sincere devotee of Lord shuns all material sense enjoyment due to his higher taste for spiritual enjoyment in the association of the Lord. That is the secret of success. Now, does that mean in Krishna's and devotee's life there is no enjoyment? We'll see. क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोह सम्मोहात् स्मृति विभ्रम स्मृति भ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशो बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति. So one anger is the cause, is a kamanuja, to actually lead us to complete devotion, delusion. Sammoha. Moha and sammoha. So, complete delusion. Delusion means moha. Sammoha means complete delusion. In anger, we say so many things. Are itna nahi bolna chahiye. Why? Because sammoha means there is no connection between intelligence and sense. Tongue. जो बोला है बोल देंगे. Then intelligence comes when moha goes, sammoha goes. Then अरे ये इतना ज्यादा नहीं बोलना चाहिए. That is sammoha's, vibhrama. Uh, sorry, sammoha is that stage. Sammoha smriti vibhrama. So of course, that leads to smriti vibhrama means we forget the relationship, the memory of what has happened with us. Or he has done so many things for me. How can I now act like this? That has gone. So bewildered the memory. When memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost, and when intelligence is lost, one falls down into the material pool. So now here Prabhupada writes, the senses are active, needs real engagement, either in the service of the Lord or materialism. They cannot be inactive. Senses means they have to act. So if you do not engage them in spiritual activity, they will act in materialism. Comes for sure. So Prabhupada writes, yeah, he compared later. Two kinds of vairagya. Rupa Goswami says, prapanchikataya buddhya hari sambandhi vastina mumukshubhi parityago vairagyam falgu kathate. So that means one who does not understand the sambandha, hari sambandhi vastuna, his intelligence is not developed enough to know that entire creation is the property of the Lord. So he does not engage them in Krishna service. And he says this is matter, Maya. That is Falgu Vairagya. So that is not going to give him any kind of advantage. But so on the other hand, a person in Krishna consciousness knows that everything is Krishna's property. Anasaktasya Vishayan Yatharam Upayunjate. Krishnasya, Yatharam Upayunjate. Whatever. Anasaktasya Vishayan Yatharam Upayunjate. Krishna Sambandha Yuktam Vairangam Uchate. What is that word? Yatharaham Upayunjate. So he knows what is everything is connected with Krishna. So that's why he uses it. Upayunjate in Krishna's service. That is Yuktam Vairagam Uchate. So example can be given. He food is important. Again, senses need. So impersonalists will say, oh, it's Maya. To eat all opulent food is Maya. So they will try to avoid good eatables. Who? Impersonalists. They will just eat chickpeas, austerity. But devotee knows that Krishna is the supreme enjoyer and that he eats all that is offered to him with devotion. So he offers all good eatables to the Lord. And then he eats the remnant, that is prasadam. So everything becomes spiritualized and there is no danger of downfall. That's why the devotee takes prasadam in Krishna consciousness, whereas non-devotee rejects it as a material. Therefore, impersonalists cannot even enjoy the life due to his artificial innocence, that is Falgu Vairagya. And for this reason, a slight agitation of the mind pulls him down again into the pool of material. So at least devotional service gives us happiness to the senses also, to see the beauty of the Lord, to eat sufficient sumptuous food, which is actually Krishna is. So that is what it says, Aruha Krishrena. to fast, to do penance, it is very difficult for a soul who is here to enjoy. We came away from Krishna to enjoy, and to restrain from enjoyment is very difficult now. So, but still you go ahead again to fall down. Patanti adhoya. Because there is no higher taste. Connection with Krishna again. So that's why uh, Krishna consciousness is always beneficial. It is like a patient who, like he is restrained from the food, but gets a good supplement. So, now I am getting nourishment. So I can restrict. I can restrain from those who will, that will increase my disease. Yeah? But it is not, if not given good nourishment, he has to fall to the, बोले एक काम करो वो बोलो तो फ्रूट्स है और नीचे भजिया लेके आओ तो अरे फ्रूट्स तो खाने तो हाँ फ्रूट्स नीचे थोड़ा भजी पाव खाएंगे I mean, I'm just giving example. But then that will again increase his disease. Disease means again fall down. That's what it is. Arya Krishna Parampara. Again fall down to humanitarianism or so and so many things which is not Krishna conscious. So Raga Dvesha Vimuktestu Vishayan Indrayesharan Atmavasyar Videyatma Prasadam Adhigachati. So, but a person free from all attachment and aversion and able to control his senses through regulative principles of freedom can obtain the complete mercy of the Lord. So, there is a comparison given. We have missed it. So, Prabhupada gives two examples. So he gives first example is Lord Shiva. So, Lord Shiva actually was influenced by the agitation by Parvati and Kartikeya was born. By that means the influence of sense object was there. So, even Lord Shiva got agitated by that. But if we see Haridas Thakur or Yamunacharya, they could easily overcome all sensual attraction by powerful Krishna consciousness. So these two examples Prabhupada writes in purport. So that is how. So Haridas Thakur actually could resist Maya Devi herself, incarnation of Maya Devi, because of strength of his devotional practice. So Prabhupada writes that higher the Yukta Vairagya, that means use of everything in service of Lord, that we have seen. Yeah, that's done. Now, 64 onwards he comes. How does he walks? So, we have seen he should not engage in devotional the material fruitive activities. He should actually use them in Krishna consciousness. Now, how we should do that? Engage his senses always in Krishna consciousness. So, regulative principles of freedom. Now, regulative principles and freedom. These are two contradictory terms, right? Regulative principles means we have to follow niyam, regulation. And when if you have to follow that means that is not freedom. Okay? But that is the beauty of Krishna consciousness, that actually this following regulative principle is actually freedom for a soul. Can you give any right? How? Explain.
The kite is tied to the string, it can fly. That is
Amazing. I mean, the kite is actually strung to the thread and controlled as a man, and actually the he's he's controlled by a man, but still it's free to actually go so many long distance, right? Yet it has freedom. Once he get disconnected by that, he follows them. So by our own mental concoction of so-called freedom, we are actually binding ourselves into many more lifetimes, isn't it? This life, in this way of life cycle, lifestyle, we can be happy. That is actually binding. But if we follow regulative principles of Krishna consciousness, actually it's freeing us at every step, at every breath. If we are still alive in devotional service, that is actually freeing us from so many bondage like that. So the question comes how he how he actually transcends the attachment and aversion. Actually, today is, it's 8:30, so we'll stop here. We'll conclude next time. Um, any questions till now? Hmm.
How it transcends